You ever wonder why the most powerful people in the room are usually the quietest? Why the ones who truly know something say the least? That's not a coincidence. That's not shyness. That's strategy. Because an intelligent person knows what you give away freely, people will use recklessly. And there are 4 things, no matter what, they never expose. Not to impress, not to vent, not to connect. At any cost, they keep them private, because those 4 things, they're not just details, they're leverage. And the second you hand over leverage, you hand over control. So if you're ready to think sharper, move smarter, and protect your edge, listen carefully. This isn't just a speech, it's a warning. You want to know the first thing an intelligent person guards like their life depends on it. Their next move. They don't post about it. They don't talk about it over coffee. They don't whisper it to feel important. Because they know, the moment you speak it, you give it away. You invite opinions, doubts, jealousy, and distractions. And here's the real truth: the more people know what you're planning, the more they'll try to stop you. Not always out of hate. Sometimes out of fear, insecurity, or even love masked as protection. Are you sure you can do that? Isn't that too risky? No one's done that before. They mean well. Maybe, but that seed of doubt, it grows, and if you're not careful, it chokes the mission before it ever leaves the ground. Smart people, they don't announce. They execute. They show you the outcome, not the blueprint. Because when people can't see the board, they can't play the game. When your next move is invisible, they can't block it, delay it, or destroy it. That's not secrecy. That's strategy. And the second thing an intelligent person keeps on lockdown: their weaknesses. Not because they're pretending to be perfect, but because they know this world doesn't always play fair. The moment you reveal where it hurts, someone will press on it. Not always your enemies. Sometimes the people closest to you, out of frustration, out of leverage, out of ego. You think sharing your pain earns you connection, but the truth, with the wrong person, it earns you a target. Smart people aren't cold, they're cautious. They feel everything, but they don't hand out the blueprint to break them. They cry, but not in rooms where the walls have ears. They struggle, but they do it in silence, behind closed doors, where strength is built in the dark. Because here's what most people don't understand: real power isn't in pretending nothing touches you. It's in knowing exactly what does, and protecting it like hell. That's not being fake. That's being smart. And the third thing they never, ever put on display: their family matters. Because intelligent people know, once you let the world inside your home, you lose control of the narrative. Everyone suddenly has an opinion. People who don't know your story start writing it for you. They twist it, judge it, use it. That little argument, that misunderstanding, that pain you thought you were just venting, now it's gossip. Now it's ammunition. See, smart people draw a hard line between public and private, not because they're hiding something, but because they're protecting everything: their peace, their loyalty, their unity. They know that what happens between loved ones needs time, space, and silence to heal, not a spotlight and an audience. They don't air out the mess to prove a point or get sympathy. They clean it up quietly, because they understand something the loud ones forgetting: once respect is lost behind closed doors, it's only a matter of time before it's lost everywhere else. So they keep their family business where it belongs, in the vault, untouched, untold, unshaken. Their wealth, not just the money in the bank, but the real kind of wealth: the ideas, the relationships, the knowledge, the resources that give them leverage in a world obsessed with appearances. Intelligent people don't need to flex. They don't flash what they have because they understand something most people never will: the moment you show your hand, someone starts plotting to take it. You post the car, someone's calculating your net worth. You talk about your success, someone's questioning if you deserve it. You reveal your connections, and suddenly people start using you as a stepping stone. That's the truth no one likes to admit. The more visible your abundance, the more visible you become as a target. But the smart ones, they let people underestimate them. They let the world think they're doing okay, while they're building empires behind the scenes, quietly stacking wins, quietly investing, quietly growing, because true wealth doesn't need validation, it needs protection. And when it finally shows, it's not for attention, it's a byproduct of discipline. A quiet warning: You didn't see me coming, but I've been here the whole time. And if there's one habit that threads through every intelligent person I've ever met, it's silence. Strategic silence. They don't rush to fill every pause. They don't overshare to prove their worth. They listen. They observe, they calculate. While others spill their stories trying to impress the room, the intelligent ones sit back and gather intel. Because silence isn't weakness, it's surveillance. Every word you give away is a piece of your playbook, and they know that in the wrong hands, your words become weapons. So they speak with intention. Precision. They don't talk just to be heard. They speak when it matters, and when it hits hard. Because they've studied the room before they ever opened their mouth. Silence is not emptiness. It's control. It's knowing that power doesn't need to announce itself. It just is. And here's what separates the truly intelligent from the rest. They understand that privacy is power. Not a luxury, not a preference, power. Because the moment people know everything about you, your plans, your struggles, they know exactly where to push, where to pull, and where to break you. The intelligent keep their inner world guarded, not because they're secretive, but because they know how fast access can become control. Look around. The loudest ones, the most exposed, how easily are they shaken, criticized, manipulated? Now look at the ones who move in silence, calm, unbothered, untouchable. That's not an accident. That's the result of discipline. Of understanding that not everyone deserves a backstage pass to your life. Privacy isn't about hiding. It's about choosing who gets to influence your direction. And the smart ones, they never give that power away for free. And here's something intelligent people know deep in their bonus: not everyone deserves access. Just because someone smiles at you, listens to you, claps for you, doesn't mean they've earned the right to know you. Real ones get that. They don't open up to feel liked. They don't spill their soul to feel seen. They know access is earned through consistency, loyalty, and time. Not charm, not flattery, not convenience. Because the truth is, some people come close just to get a better shot. They study you, not to support you, but to spot the cracks. And if you give the wrong person access to the private parts of your life, your peace, your story, it won't be long before they weaponize it. So the intelligent ones, they watch, they test, they wait. They don't just protect their energy. They vet who they allow into it. And when they give someone access, it means something. It's not random. It's not emotional. It's earned. Always. And there's a reason why intelligent people never let the world read them like an open book. Because they've learned that mystery is power. Real power. The kind that doesn't shout, doesn't explain, doesn't ask for permission. Look, we live in a world that's addicted to overexposure. Social media has turned people into broadcasters of their every move, their breakfasts, their breakdowns, their bank accounts, and the irony, the more they reveal, the more invisible they become. Because when everything is out there, there's nothing left that's sacred. Nothing left that's yours. Intelligent people understand that the moment people know everything about you, you become predictable, and predictability is a weakness. The second someone can map out how you think, how you react, where you've been, where you're going, they don't just understand you. They can manipulate you, steer you, anticipate you, control you. That's why mystery isn't some game. It's not about playing hard to get or being cool. It's a weapon, a protective layer, a psychological shield. Because people can't attack what they can't see. They can't copy what they can't understand. They can't diminish what they can't define. You walk into a room and you're quiet. Not because you're unsure, but because you're scanning, watching, calculating. While everyone else is spilling their entire life story to feel important, you're absorbing everything in silence. Why? Because you're not there to be seen. You're there to see. That's the difference. That's the power of mystery. The intelligent person doesn't broadcast. They signal, subtly, with intention. They choose their words like weapons. They dress with precision. They move like someone who's already 10 steps ahead. And when they speak, people listen. Because it's rare. It's intentional. It's never just to fill silence. It's to deliver a message, a warning, a boundary. And this isn't about being fake. Let's be clear. Intelligent people don't hide who they are. They just don't advertise it to everyone. They understand the difference between privacy and secrecy. Privacy is power. Secrecy is fear. One protects your life, the other avoids it. And intelligent people live from strength, not fear. They know that mystery commands a different kind of attention, the kind you don't have to beg for. People lean in. They're curious. They start wondering, who is this person? What do they know? How are they so composed, so quiet, and still so damn powerful? That tension you create when you withhold just enough. That's where respect begins. That's where authority lies. You think being liked is the goal. Think again. Being respected is. Being understood without being predictable. Being known without being fully known. You don't owe your story to anyone who hasn't earned it. And smart people, they never forget that. Now listen, I've seen this play out in high-stakes environments. Intelligence work, interrogation rooms, business negotiations, boardrooms, people who overshare, overtalk, overexpose, they always lose leverage. They give away too much, too soon. They let people walk into their mind like it's a public hallway. And once someone has access to your inner patterns, they don't just influence your next move. They can control your outcome. But when you protect your mystery, you create space between what people see and what you are. That space. That's where your power grows. That's where unpredictability lives. That's where strategy is born. Think about every elite leader, every tactician, every high-level operator. What do they all have in common? You never fully know what they're thinking. You can't predict their next step. And because of that, you respect them. Maybe even fear them. Because you know that silence doesn't mean absence. It means calculation. It means intention. It means you're not reacting. You're observing. And don't get this twisted. Mystery isn't about being emotionless. It's about being measured, controlled. It's about choosing not to bleed in front of people who wouldn't even hand you a bandage. It's about knowing that every truth, every insight, every vulnerability you release has a cost. And intelligent people always calculate the cost before they spend the truth. Sometimes the mystery isn't even about what you say. It's about what you don't. You walk away from drama without comment. You leave toxic people wondering why they lost access. You exit conversations before they go south. And you never explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Because intelligent people don't owe everyone a performance. They don't chase closure. They don't beg to be seen. They understanding when you carry mystery, you don't have to chase anything. People come to you. They seek you. They study you. And let's talk about relationships. Personal, professional, romantic. Mystery in a relationship doesn't mean being emotionally distant. It means you have boundaries. It means you have layers people must earn. It means you don't out your entire life on the first connection. You don't confuse attention for trust. You don't confuse familiarity for loyalty. You make people work to understand you, not out of ego, but out of value, out of self-worth. Because here's the hard truth. When you give people too much too fast, they don't value it. They don't respect it. They get used to it. They start expecting more. And eventually, they weaponize your openness against you. But when you give people just enough to respect you, but not enough to control you, that's when you win. That's when your presence carries weight. That's when people stop talking at you and start listening to you. Mystery is also self-preservation. It's not that you don't want to connect. It's that you know not everyone can handle access to you. Not everyone has the emotional maturity, the loyalty, or the integrity to hold your truth without breaking it. So you become selective, intentional. You stop chasing connection and start curating it. And the people who earn access to your mind, your heart, your vision, they don't get there by default. They get there by proving they can be trusted. That's not being guarded. That's being wise. You see, mystery makes you unforgettable. People remember what they can't figure out. They talk about what they don't understand. They respect what they can't predict. The intelligent person doesn't need to scream for attention. They command it with presence, precision, and restraint. So when you walk into that room, into that meeting, into that moment, don't just ask yourself what you want people to know about you. Ask yourself what you want to withhold, what you want to protect, what you want them to feel without you ever saying a word. Because mystery isn't the absence of truth. It's the discipline of timing. It's the power of knowing that just because something is real doesn't mean it needs to be revealed. Not now, not yet, maybe not ever. So protect your mystery like it's armor, because in a world where everyone's screaming to be seen, the one who chooses restraint becomes unforgettable, untouchable, unbreakable. And here's something most people overlook. Intelligent people, not everyone deserves access to them. And that isn't arrogance. That's awareness. That's discernment. That's survival. See, when you're constantly open, available, reachable by everyone, what you're really saying is, I have no filter. I don't protect my energy. I don't guard my focus. And intelligent people, they'd never allow that, because access is power. And they know the second you give someone access to your time, your attention, your emotions, your hand them influence over your state of mind. Let me tell you something straight: people drain you. Not all of them, but enough of them. The needy ones, the negative ones, the ones who want to pick your brain but never build with you. The ones who smile in your face but tighten their grip when you start winning. And intelligent people, they see it, they feel it, and they cut it off. You don't need a spotlight to be powerful. You need control. Control over who sits at your table, over who hears your thoughts, over who you invest your time, your insight, your energy into. Because not every person deserves a front row seat to your life. Some people only show up to take notes, copy moves, or derail your momentum. So the intelligent person becomes selective, not rude, not cold, intentional. If someone constantly brings chaos, drama, confusion into your space, they're out. No discussion, no explanation, and certainly no guilt. Because intelligent people don't apologize for protecting what they've built. They understand that energy is currency, that emotional bandwidth is limited, that attention is a resource. And if you're constantly giving those things to the wrong people, you'll have nothing left for the things that actually matter: your goals, your growth, your peace. And make no mistake, just because someone has known you a long time doesn't mean they still deserve access. Growth changes your circle. Evolution demands boundaries. And intelligent people never feel bad for outgrowing environments that no longer feed them. They don't cling to loyalty when it costs them clarity. They're not afraid to say no, not because they're heartless, but because they have standards, and standards protect you from noise, from leeches, from opportunists. Standards tell the world, ugh, this is where my access ends and my value begins. You don't owe anyone access just because they ask for it, or because you feel guilty, or because they supported you once. The intelligent person knows just because someone was part of your story doesn't mean they belong in your future. So what do? They vet, they observe, they test loyalty in silence. They don't just listen to what people say, they watch how they move, how they respond to your wins, how they handle your boundaries, because that's the real indicator of who deserves to stay close. And if someone fails that test, the door closes, quietly, calmly, permanently, because access is earned, not given. And the intelligent person protects it with everything they've got. Not out of ego, but out of respect for themselves. Because when you stop giving your energy to everyone, you finally have the bandwidth to become everything you were meant to be. And finally, this is one of the most powerful things intelligent people do: they execute without explanation. They don't announce, they don't seek approval, they don't look for validation. They move, silently, precisely, and by the time the world sees what they've done, it's already done. Because when you constantly explain yourself, you give people room to question you, to slow you down, to poke holes in your vision, not because it's wrong, but because they can't see it. Intelligent people don't waste time trying to make others understand every step. They don't water down their direction just to make others feel comfortable. They understand that their path isn't up for group discussion. Think about it. How many times have you talked about something you were excited to do, only to hear someone say, "Really? Are you sure that's a good idea?" Or, "That's not realistic." And suddenly that fire you had, it dims. You start second-guessing, you hesitate. Not because you're wrong, but because you invited noise into your process. The intelligent person doesn't make that mistake. They understand that their goals, their moves, their decisions, they don't need to be justified to people who don't carry their vision. So instead of explaining, they act. They let their results speak the only language that matters: proof. And when people finally see what they've built, what they've created, what they've become, it's too late to stop it. Because it's already real, It's already done. The intelligent person moves in silence and lets success be their echo. They know that talk is cheap, that explaining can be draining, and that real progress doesn't happen in front of an audience. It happens in the quiet, in the early mornings, in the long nights, in the disciplined grind that nobody claps for. And while everyone else is talking about what they're going to do, the intelligent person is already doing it. They're not chasing applause. They're not waiting for green lights. They don't ask the world for permission to build what's in their heart. They build anyway. And they know. When you start showing up with results instead of reasons, people stop asking questions, because the work answers everything. So the next time you're tempted to explain yourself, to convince someone, to overshare your next step, don't. Protect your plan, respect your grind, let your execution speak, because intelligent people don't talk about the storm, they become it. So here's what it all comes down to. Intelligence isn't loud. It's not desperate for attention. It's not chasing applause. It's calculated, intentional, disciplined. The smartest people in the room, they're not trying to prove anything. They're protecting everything. Their plans, their pain, their peace, their power. They move in silence not because they're afraid, but because they know exactly what's at stake. And in a world that constantly tells you to share more, talk more, expose more, the truly intelligent choose the opposite. They guard their lives like a mission, because they understand what you keep to yourself keeps you strong.